All right, what is up, guys? Happy Friday! Happy Friday! Remnants of the smoke. What's up, guys? Happy Friday! This is Mr. Kagiwata of the Kagiwatas. We are with another edition of the Battle History podcast. This next guest needs no introduction. You know, she's a great ambassador to FGC. She's part of Team Equinox. They do some really, really great stuff. She also commentates. I heard she has a mean Chun-Li. This is probably the third time I've ever spoken to her, so this is going to be fun because, you know, we're making new friends here on the Kagiwatas, spreading the love and joy and the positivity of, you know, creating content and, you know, playing games. We might touch on some other stuff too, some not taboo subjects, but just some FGC taboo subjects, maybe, if you call it taboo, whatever it may be. So I'm going to introduce, before we get started though, there is some housekeeping I want to go ahead and get through. So number one, I am partnered here with Arcade Shock. They are one of the more premium FGC parts and apparel manufacturers. You can go ahead and use the code CLAWDADDY to save yourself 10% off of select accessories and apparel. Again, that's code CLAWDADDY on select accessories and apparel. So if you are looking for that bat top to make your stick American, or you're looking for some new buttons, whether they're Hayabusa or Sanwa or Seimitsu, like, get there while you can, you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's just get right into it, y'all, and let us introduce Miss Flexiss. Miss Flexiss, how you doing?
Hi everybody in chat. Hi, is it Kagiwatas?
Kagiwatas would be the plural. It's just Kagiwata.
Oh, Kagiwata.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hi, Mr. Kagiwata?
Yeah, Kagi's fine. You can call me Mike. Oddly enough, growing up, I've had like a plethora of nicknames. Like my mom calls Michael at work, Maikeru, depending on who's at work, you know, because I work at a Japanese company. Tetsuo when my mom's really mad or my dad's really mad. Tetchan when everyone's like, you know, the chanzuke. Mikey, Mike, Kagi, Mr. Kagiwata, Fat Mike. It's just, I had a million of them. I had a million nicknames, but Kagi's fine. I love Kagi. That's my favorite. Yes.
I think that one will work well for me, and you can call me Flex.
Yeah.
I also grew up, just like the big muscle Flex.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot more working out pre-COVID, but now that post-COVID's hit, or current COVID, I guess, I'm just been a lot lazy. So.
That's okay. You know, that's that, I don't want to say the COVID life. I can't say, oh, I was the same, because, like, my father and he lives up the street from me, actually, which is really nice. We actually built, like, an iron church inside of, like, he used to park his sports car in the garage. Now it's just, like, about 1,700 pounds worth of just different weights and, like, a squat rack.
Dang.
Deadlift pads. What else do we have? What we're missing is an exercise bike and a sauna. Otherwise, we'd be self-sufficient. But luckily, gyms in LA have started to open up, so I could literally just get on the Elizabeth with, the what's that thing? Elliptical with Elizabeth and be like, yeah, get it, girl. Yeah. Yes. You know. Yeah, I was like looking for the random California name. Or Emily. There's another one. Really common California name.
Right, just on the elliptical, and they're just like, yeah, go. And then there's like just like lights going on. You know, it tries to make you feel good about
they're
it.
They're watching the Ellen DeGeneres show on the big TV, or like The View, whatever.
Yeah. You've named just about every basic gym that's in California and some of Arizona too, which is where I'm from. So.
Yeah, EOS Fitness. Shout outs to EOS Fitness. $20 a day.
But we could be.
Yeah, $20 a day. I'll pay that. I'll pay that day. I'll pay that day fee. It's a nice gym, but you know, we'll get right to it. This is like I said, this is like only the third time we're talking, and I'm feeling the chemistry. So you know, first and foremost, tell the people who you are. If you don't mind my asking, let's start out with the government name. You know, your age, if you don't mind telling, and what it is that you do in the FGC right now.
Yeah, so my name is Alexis. I usually go by Flexiss or Flex. I am a commentator, competitor, and content creator within the Street Fighter V and FGC community. I'm sponsored with Equinox. I am also a tournament organizer. I am a co-owner of Royal Rivals. It's an all-female and non-binary tournament series. What was the third question?
That was pretty much it. And then if you don't mind, you say your age, the number of years you've been on the earth. Oh, 25.
Yeah, I'm 25. So I'm a baby to some, and I'm an old lady to others.
Akachaya, you're a baby.
Yeah, I'm a baby to some, but I'm an old lady to others. It just depends on who you ask.
I know if you're man. The other day, I swear, one user, he's like, bro, you look 42. I was about to reach into the thing and just choke him. I was like, there's Asian don't raisin, you motherfucker. Like, but
yeah,
it's okay.
No, you. That would be like the worst experience to have somebody come into my chat and be like, "Oh wow, you look great for like a 35-year-old or a 40-year-old." I would just stop my streaming career. I'd be like, "It's over." They hit the soft spot for me.
That shouldn't be a soft spot. You know what? Because with age comes wisdom, and with wisdom there is beauty. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So let's just get right into it. So first and foremost, you said you play Street Fighter V right now. So what was what was that catalyst game for you? So growing up, what was like the first console you played on and your first fighting game?
So I had an interesting journey coming into fighting games because my first console I ever played on was an N64, but my first game I ever played was actually Rampage. So I didn't play my first fighting game until Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance came out, and I was just kind of the kid that I didn't really know how to play, and I didn't have anybody to play with, so it'd just be me in my room trying to practice combos and trying to figure out how to do the scorpion rope thing, just like trying to figure it out. Growing up, I was really more into RPGs and playing with my friends like Minecraft and stuff like that, and I got a little bit more into shooters, and I actually didn't get introduced to the FGC until I think it was 2017. No, sorry, 2018.
Holy shit! That's me. That's when I started working at Hori.
Yeah.
So our FGC age is the exact same, more or less.
Yeah. It was a Red Bull Conquest for Phoenix at the time. That was the first ever tournament I ever entered, or like larger tournament, obviously outside of locals. So was playing Street Fighter V. It was season 2 Chun-Li. I was on the struggle bus and I didn't even know it because I hadn't touched Street Fighter prior to that, besides like at the barcades and things like that. So for me, like for some people, like that's around the same starting time that they got introduced to it. But for a lot of people, there's a ton of veterans in the scene. So I feel like in some ways still so fresh and new to the community. And I'm still constantly learning stuff about like just the community and the game and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's about my journey. And then, I've dabbled in like Tekken, I've dabbled in Killer Instinct and things like that. But the thing that always stuck with me was Street Fighter. I think that left the biggest impact.
Nice. That makes me feel like shit. Because I started on the Super Nintendo. Like, I was playing Honda and Vega, and Ryu, like, always on second player because I had an older sister. I was 6, or I was like 4. I think it was like 4 or 5. But it was just like, I'm just like, oh man, I'm old now. But, let's get outside of the self pity and the commiseration of age. Real talk, I just kind of doing like a deep dive on your Twitter and stuff like that. So you're a Chun-Li main, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So what drew you to Chun-Li? Do you have like an interesting backstory as to why you're playing Chun-Li? My glasses are dirty, so I'm gonna clean them while you talk. Sorry.
No worries. I live the same life, and my boyfriend always complains. He looks at me and he's like, "Your glasses are smudged. I see it. Why don't you clean them?" I'm like, I don't notice until like somebody else points it out. But
or until it's terrible.
Oh, exactly. But point being, so with Chun-Li, I actually started out playing Street Fighter V with Nash. I was looking through the roster and I was like, he's the cutest character. I'm going to play the hot guy. Now, mind you, it didn't stick long. I thought he was really hard. So I was like, okay, well, let me go through the roster. And it really just came off of happenstance that, like, Chun-Li just stuck for me. There's another guy in our scene who was kind of introducing me in and out to him, or to Chun-Li, and he would like kind of help me learn like simple things to kind of get a grasp of the game. And for me, it was a weird thing that just, it clicked. It made sense. My brain was like, yeah, that makes sense. It works to play at this range. It works to play in this style. And so for me, it's just something that just clicked and worked well. And I grew to love her, and it was kind of interesting because I felt like I grew this relationship with her as a character, beyond just the fact that, you know, she came naturally for me to play, because it was like, okay, she's like this really cool, stands for kind of justice, you know, kung fu cop, and who has like a close relationship with her dad, trying to avenge her dad, and all this like backstory behind her, and of course too, one of the first few fighting game females you could play, which is like a huge monument in itself. And so for me, like kind of taking that like girl power and like stuff like that, I thought was really cool. I'm also a big fan of Kung Fu. I'm a blue belt in Kung Fu.
Nice.
So that it's pretty cool. There's a lot of ties to that, and I also have a tattoo of her.
Oh wow.
Because for me, she kind of is like a representation of strength and femininity in one. So.
I was gonna say, you're not the only one with their mains tattooed on them, actually.
Oh, do you have a Vega tattoo?
I have something better. Hold on.
Oh no. Oh,
Vega and
the
Honda.
Vega and the Honda. I love to see it. That is sick. That
Yeah.
is so sick. My Chun-Li's on my thigh, so I won't get up because it takes up my entire leg, and I don't even think I could get that in.
Cool. We're
the
trying to
screen.
keep the thing relatively kid-friendly, except for the language.
Exactly.
Right? That's for,
exactly.
That's for private time, girl. That's for private time.
But yeah, so love Chun-Li. I played her ever since. I've dabbled with other characters just to kind of branch out. And of course, as a commentator, you need to like understand those kind of matchups and moveset knowledge. So I definitely love also playing like the other charge characters, like Urian especially, has been like kind of tickling my fancy lately. Like I think he's such a neat character, and he's kind of fun and silly.
Yeah.
So
my the guys that I always play with, the guys and gals that I always play with in the my Discord's called the Kagiwara Funhouse. I call them the Funhouse. They know I have like a secret Urian. Yeah, I have a secret Urian. Yeah, we always make jokes because he has the mirror, so we always make that Michael Jackson. We just recite the Michael Jackson song "Man in the Mirror" while we're playing. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta so many like our lounges are full of puns. It's just so bad. It's so terrible, But yeah, Urian. That's actually an interesting. That's interesting. You're I feel like based on what you just said, why we play characters is a lot alike. So Honda, I grew up kind of like fat, so I was like, oh, here's this badass fat dude, like, and he just smacks people, and I have always been like a fat narcissist. So also the first time I ever beat my older sister in Street Fighter was just by hitting crouch heavy kick in the corner, and I finally beat her with Street Fighter 2 with Vegas. I'm like, oh, dude, this is like the cheapest character. And like I could just like literally just hit jab. It's so fast. I didn't even know what recovery was. I'm like, I just know I can just keep hitting it on my SNES controller, crouching jab, crouching jab. It was literally these two buttons until I learned how to charge. So I feel you when you have that. When especially if you like the character that you're playing, you almost like want to live life like them, right?
Yeah.
Except that the character you're playing is like stands for so many good things, and Vega is such a douche. But I just love it. He is such a douche. Like Vega in spirit, Honda in body. That's how I live my life.
Yeah. It was funny because I actually took up Kung Fu lessons after playing Street Fighter. And when my instructor at the time, she was like, oh, why do you want to do this? What is your kind of goals? Like, what interests you? And I sat there, I was like, oh no, she's not going to like this answer. And I told her, I was like, well, I want to get healthier and be better, peace of body and mind, and also because my favorite video game character wants to do Kung Fu. So it was like that whole like kind of dorky, like nerdy aspect shining through. She thought it was the neatest thing. She like always said, oh, it's really groovy. And I was like, thanks.
Honestly, I don't know. Like I know you love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which we'll get to there. Just hold your horses. Put your seatbelt back on, please, on the ride. But yeah, if you which makes me think you're into kind of like Japanese pop culture. So if you know what Kamen Rider is, Kamen Rider, right? That's the reason why I wanted to do karate. So to this day, like it's crazy. I have nieces when they were living here for like 5 months when they were about like 4 or 5, and my sister and I took karate, and the same karate sensei who taught us were teaching my nieces.
Oh.
And then like he remembers, he's like, oh, Kamen Rider-kun. I'm like, yep, I'm fucking 29 and you're still calling me that, but yes, sir. I just like sat there like, in the position like, he's like, oh, and he's like, where's your gi? I'm like, doesn't fit me anymore. It's too small. Yeah, that's cool. So tell me about kung fu. I mean, before I know the world kind of closed, but before then, like, how often were you doing it? Like, what has it taught you anything like self-defense wise, or like, you go to a major and there's like a creepy asshole and you're just like, what was this? The medium punch, right? Standing medium punch.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah. So some interesting things. I actually started Kung Fu, I think it was the February before lockdown hit.
Oh.
And so I started Kung Fu. I made it all the way to my second degree blue belt. So I was only a belt and a half away from getting my black belt. I was really heartbroken. But I pretty much, it was really cool to me because it like definitely taught me a lot about like it gave me a lot of confidence, because like coming into it, I was like kind of like shy and nervous, and I'd get scared in certain situations, but for me it like built out a lot of self-confidence. And like I was like, I always want to just be cool, and I was like, what better like way to make yourself feel cool than like doing kung fu and saying, yeah, I know kung fu, and it's not like a meme. It taught me, so I do Southern Shaolin, 5 animal kung fu, and gosh, I think I did it for about 8 or 9 months, but I moved away, and so it was just too far of a drive for me to be able to keep up with it, unfortunately. I'm actually in the process of readmitting into a new academy that's a lot closer, so I can try to finish my belts.
Nice.
But yeah, it taught me a lot about like establishing like your mental what's the word for it, like not your mental stamina, but like your mental state, and like how to control that, and how to like kind of come to peace with a lot of things in your life. And also the really interesting thing to me that I really liked was it did establish a really great use of self-defense. You know, it teaches you how to block certain moves and how to expect certain things, and like you go through the different animal styles, and like it feels like almost like a dance as you're moving through the different animal structures. Like, you know, you're doing leopard, or you're doing like tiger and things like that. And
so all the Mac OSs. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. You know, all the way up to
snow leopard.
What is it? Yeah, exactly. I didn't even think about that.
I had to. You lobbed me such a good spike. I was like, I'm gonna spike this.
Oh yeah.
There's a pun there.
Heck yeah.
No, but it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very like dance-like in how I was learning it, but in the same time, like they would break down moves, and they'd be like, hey, when you're doing this is what you're actually doing. You're like breaking someone's collarbone, you're like hitting them outside the head, you're knocking them over by doing these certain moves, and it's just kind of incorporated in this almost like dance like structure. So it was really, really cool. I loved it, and I'm I'm going back to it, and the only reason why I had to stop was because it was just too far of a drive. So and it was cool too because they incorporated their lessons through Zoom calls, so throughout the entirety of of COVID and quarantine and stuff like that, I was still able to keep up with it because we had Zoom to be able to do that. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think the martial arts I did when I was growing up, it was karate, and then I wrestled a little bit when I was in middle school.
Okay.
Early 20s, I did Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Had like about an 8-month stint training at MMA with my cousin who was a fighter. Realized I didn't like getting punched in the face, and I did like about 3 months of pro wrestling training. And then ever since then, it's just been hang out, and you know, in betwixt that, like skateboarding and stuff like that. Did you grow up in AZ? Did you grow up in Arizona?
Yeah. So born and raised.
Fuck, do you skate in Arizona when it's 100 degrees outside? How? Why? I live in SoCal. It's always 70. Every time it goes under 60, I'm like, it's cold. You know.
No, I mean, it's the same thing in Arizona. The moment it dips below 70, we're all like, got our like double padded jackets on. We're like, it's so cold outside. Do we need the heater? None of us turn on the heater, but we think about it.
Yeah.
But no, skateboarding in Arizona. So I grew up a skater kid. We talked a little bit about this before we went live, but yeah, I grew up a big skater kid. Baker was like the dream brand for a skateboard I wanted. I was like really, really into that. Rodney Mullen was one of my favorite skateboarders back in the day. Like, and I was like the nerdy skater kid too. So I always played all the Tony Hawk games and stuff like that. I was like, this will be me one day.
So was it?
But,
so
yeah.
was it mandatory? So when you played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, whichever edition, because you're 7 years younger than me, like, did you pick Alyssa Steamer? Was that like a must? Like, I must pick the girl character, or were you
I
like?
don't think she was in the games that I played, because I did like Tony Hawk Underground 2 and like American Wasteland stuff like that. I don't think she was in that one.
Yeah, she may not have been. I think it was like 1 to 3.
Yeah. So she wasn't in those ones, but yeah, I definitely played all the skater games and stuff like that, trying to really like encompass this persona that I was a skater kid. I could barely ollie. I was not good, but I wanted to be. Yeah, but skateboarding in Arizona, A, lots of sunscreen, and B, you're just like chugging water and just sweating it out. Like, it's literally goes in one, like, and then just
Out your pores.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how walking feels. Like, every time I go out there, like, my wife is from there, and every time I'm out there, I'm just like, you know, my wife's like, oh, you're not gonna like the heat, but then I'm like, okay, so I've been to Japan multiple times. I don't like humidity. I don't like feeling like I'm on the inside of an armpit. And in my early 20s, I used to go to Vegas a lot, just, you know, because that's what you do when you're 21 and you don't got shit to do. So I was always like, yeah, dry heat's awesome. And then, like, it's funny because she's like, how are you? I took a nap outside in a July.
See, like,
that's how mad crazy I am at, like, I was like, oh, it didn't feel too bad. My wife's like, are you sure you're okay? You're like, you look like really relaxed and like your mouth was wide open. I'm like, yeah, because I'm relaxing.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, with the Arizona heat, it's a dry heat. So if you're in the shade, you feel that difference versus like sitting out in the sun. And not to mention too, I mean, like, heat stroke's a thing, and it just drains the energy out of you.
Especially
so,
under
like,
the sun.
Yeah. So I don't blame you for taking a nap out in the heat. You might have had a heat stroke or something, or maybe you were just relaxed.
Nah, I had like a beer, like right here. I was like, there was a beer about like 6 feet, like 5 feet away from me, and I was just chilling, just staycationing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, so you mentioned you know, you have a boyfriend now. I heard the word boyfriend.
Yes.
But I think the first time I ever heard of you was because a friend of mine used to like be with A4. And I saw you on The Bachelorette, on A4's Bachelorette. And what was that like? I mean, what was like? I think I popped in a little bit because this is, I think it was like maybe the end of 2018, early 2019, like way before I thought about like watching Twitch, because all I was doing was like watching YouTubers skating or doing whatever. But what was that like? What was that all about? How?
Yeah.
Is that how you met your boyfriend?
No, it is not. So I was a contestant on the Bachelor show that they hosted. And it was fun. It was fun. I think there was a little bit of a misconception and kind of an unspoken joke, because half the contestants already had boyfriends and they were on there just to like goof around and have a good time.
I see.
And things like that. Yeah. So like,
so what you're saying, it was a setup.
Yeah, pretty much.
You just peeled the curtain. Everyone's like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it was all for the fun in the game and the kind of put on a show and like and also get to know streamers. That was something I liked about A4 Andre's back at that time. His stream was like, he'd always have new people on that were like smaller streamers, so they could get engaged and introduced to bigger audiences and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it was actually pretty fun. I fought hard. I got all the way up to like top 3. And then the girl with the sob story, of course, won. So I was like, all right. Well, I don't talk a lot about my personal life. And so like for me, I'm like, I'm not gonna like tell the world a sob story just for like a chance to win this game show. So I was like, all right, it's whatever. The girl with the sob story, and then the other hot chick, they can win, they can take it. I'll settle with my top 3 spot. And then I got brought on to be a contestant again for another show. And it was the same, it was a similar situation, top 3 again. And it was funny because there's a talent round, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody brings their special talent in, and I'm like, I'm not good at anything that I can like show you. Like, I can't just go and be like, yeah, I'm good at fighting games. Let me play you in a set real quick,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because nobody else there was like a fighting game player. And I don't like sing or do art or anything like that. And so I was like, the thing I do though is cosplay. And so on the first show, again, talent round, I cosplayed as Colonel Sanders.
Nice.
like not even joking. I did a female version of Colonel Sanders, and it was actually a closet cosplay I had done for a charity stream where I played the Colonel Sanders dating simulator game.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so fast forwarding to the second time around, when I was a contestant, I decided to, I decided to cosplay as the Bachelor. So I grabbed like a screenshot of one of his streams of him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like sitting there, he's smiling or like just like looking at the camera, and I had taken his background basically, and like I took a picture of me dressed up as him. I had like a similar t-shirt, and I had like a short brown hair, and I kind of tried to make myself look like a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I put my picture, like cut it out and put it over his, so it looked like I was in his background. So it was hysterical, and nobody expects you to cosplay as the contestant or as the Bachelor. So that was my special talent. Everybody thought it was hilarious. So that was the biggest takeaway from both of those shows.
That's awesome.
But
that's
yeah,
awesome that you don't have to take yourself too seriously. Cause I'm sure those other
gosh,
two
no.
girls are probably like, "Ooh, I'm about to get this. I'm about to get this money or whatever it is." You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's all in good fun at the end of the day, and I think a majority of the contestants on there were just like there to have a good time. Like, fast forward again, I actually ended up with my own bachelorette show, and this time I had like a handful of people both from the FGC and outside the FGC, and I had one of the previous bachelors on there as a contestant.
Mm-hmm.
So like there was a little bit of fun drama involved with that, but it was funny because like the Twitch Lorette, and at the end of it, right, this guy, he was a part of the Soul Calibur community. His name is Miles. A lot of people might have known him because he played recently at what's the tournament? It slipped my mind. Anyway, point being, it was like the gameplays one or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because him and I were chatting afterwards. He messaged me. He's like, just so you know, like, I don't expect anything out of this. Like, I just went on the show for fun. And of course, everybody was there for the memes and stuff like that. But that was the cool thing about it, was like, it was just it was fun. It was just fun content to create and like, in a sense, like almost like role play out. So it was a good time.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I met my boyfriend from a dating app. I didn't meet him from any of these kind of dating.
You hear that,
shows or
boys?
anything
Dating
like
apps
that.
work. They work.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I met my wife is actually my best friend's cousin, and I've known this guy for 28 years.
Oh, dang.
And this
okay.
whole time, I had never knew she existed up until like I was like, how do you say this? Like I had broken up with that this girl, the one I was talking about, before the stream, and I got like the fuck you body, like really good. I was I ended that relationship at 240. I got down to like 165. I lost the whole person basically, and then he was like, bro, I think then we hooked up. He hooked us up. Wow, I said that out loud. He hooked us up, and it's been history ever since. And now if she fills out a job application, someone might think she's Japanese.
Oh yeah, got your last name now.
Yes, official. God damn it. I just saw the chat. I'm gonna have to delete that somehow later. But anyways, so kind of to segue away from that, but it is still in the realm of Twitch. So you are a content creator. You're also a competitor. You're also a commentator. So with what some would say like so little years, 2018 to now, what do you think is like the hardest thing to start learning commentary? And you were a great commentator. I mean, I was working with you on the Dynacure tournament. Shout outs to my boy JD. You and Kuba, you had some, really good chemistry there. So how did you learn the game to commentate? And I'm asking because I like to do some commentary too, but I think of myself as, if you ever watched the WWF or E, probably because you're, a little bit younger than me, there was always Jerry the King Lawler and JR. JR was the play-by-play guy. He'll tell you the side headlock and the German suplex and why these moves are good. And Jerry the King Lawler would be the guy who tells the story about, and then just be like color, you know, like, oh, here's a this, here's a that. Like, you know, how did you learn? What did you do to learn those skills? You know, because you were doing some good analytical commentary as well. And that makes me a little jealous because I flat out refuse to do it. Because I'm like, nah, I'm just going to commentate this shit like it's MMA and hope for the best.
No, so first off, shout outs to Kuba. I absolutely loved commentating with him. Make sure you guys go check him out. He's a fantastic commentator. But I started commentating my local scene, and it was all purely like kind of on the whim. Like one of my really good friends, his name is Sean Dude, and he was like, hey Flexiss, hop on mic with me. I was like, no, I don't really know the game that well. Like, I don't want to make a fool of myself. He's like, no, let's do it. I'll take care of you. You just have fun. You just, you know, be hype and enjoy what you're doing. Just call out whatever you see. I'm like, all right. So I get on. I have a blast, of course. So it's like, for me, that was like that was the hook, and it really like kind of worked out because I had such a good time on the mic with him. And of course, too, part of that experience is always about who your co-commentator is. But as I kind of progressed, one of the big obstacles I faced, it wasn't about gender, it wasn't about opportunities or anything like that. It was actually about my own self-confidence. And again, part of that too was because I was so new to the community, and everybody I was working with had been here before for so many years. And I was like, here's me who's like only been in the community for a couple of years, only been commentating for, I think I've been commentating since the end of 2019. So I mean, that's still like pretty fresh. And again, for me, like my obstacle was having the self-confidence to like take those opportunities and feel like I'm good enough to take those opportunities. And it is hard to learn the game, especially where it's at now, the huge character roster, and you're learning like double the moves with each V skill and V trigger now, and V shift and new mechanics being introduced. So it's like, it's a lot of information.
Is it plus here? Is it minus there? Like, do you jump and do a doohickey or a fire Hadouken?
Yeah.
Do you do a Hadouken there? Yeah, I get you. You know, it's funny because like it's similar. So Commander Jesse, he used to run the stream at WNF, Wednesday Night Fights, and that's where I started commentating. And yeah, I think I got on the mic with JD first. That was like one of the first times, and then ever since then I just, you know, me and JD kind of have this understanding that I'm not gonna say shit about what's actually going on digitally, like Zach Galifianakis and The Hangover with all the numbers and shit. What I'm gonna do is make this sound like a real fight. So there's like certain coins, there's certain terms that I think have become like my things, and I'm big upping myself, but I play Vega, so that's what we do. We're narcissists, right? So like, you know, Colleen, there's the EX Parabellum into backdash into the air armbar. We used to say, we call it that Ronda Rousey because she looks like Ronda Rousey a little bit, right?
Yeah, I can see
You're
it.
more than welcome to take any of these, please do, because then I'll know I'll know you listened. You know, and the other one, anytime someone does like with a Shoto, the sweep the leg Johnny, you know, old Karate Kid reference. You know what I'm saying? Bison's heavy punch, I'd call it just the overhands, just hitting those overhands. Yeah. If you watch MMA, there's a MMA fighter called Dan Henderson, and he basically would overhand right you and send you into outer space. Like that's just how.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like an overhand, you know, heavy punch. Like that's the action, right? So I'd literally just say what the move is, IRL.
But you know, it adds color to the commentary, and that's the thing that I think makes a really good like pairing for commentary is your color and then your analysis or your analytical person. I don't know how to word that. Analyst, there we go. Words are hard. But yeah, and for me, like, I struggled, and I think a lot of people struggle to find out where they fall under that. Are they more of the color commentary? And you also want to make sure, like, if you're doing color commentary, it's not forced, because then people can pick up on that, and it's kind of cringe and it's hard to listen to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you also, there's a lot of like knowing what to say, how to say it, when to say it when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to the analytical commentary, because it's like you can't just break down a character and how they play in the setup while it's in the middle of the grand finals final like
Mm-hmm.
round, right? Because you want to talk about what's actually going on the screen. So
Yep.
there is an equation involved with all this. And for me, it took me a long time to kind of figure out where I sat between those. And then once I figured out, okay, I'm more of the analytical, like James Chen, that kind of style of
Mm-hmm.
commentary, and then being able to build on that and realize, like, okay, I not only like to be analytical, but now I need all of the skills involved behind that.
I see. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't take it that like I don't take it that seriously. If the if the opportunity comes my way, then I'm all for it. I just like being in front of a camera and I just like attention. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. The more you like me, the more my self-worth goes up. Just kidding. I love myself unconditionally. So speaking of commentating, you just commentated a tournament called Dynacure. It was a
Mm-hmm.
charity tournament for the Mayor's charity for Los Angeles or for Los Angeles,
Yes.
and which
Yeah.
I think y'all raised like what $500, and plus like all the tournament stuff and all the merch and whatever else.
Yeah.
There is one thing I do want to boast here, and I'm gonna big up my homie Spooky. Me and you, as people who have people in tournaments, are 1-1.
Yeah.
So I remember because I was writing notes because I was on the production side of that tournament. I was like, hey, I got to big up the head coach over at the Fun House because he's done like training seminars in Discord to like tell you how to set up training mode and stuff like that. He's like an asset to me, and we call it the 818 because that's the area code, the 818
Yeah.
guys. And you know we're 1-1, so I think it's time. I think we might have to set up a trilogy or something, right? Between
Yeah. Yeah.
you bring your friends, and I'll bring my friends, and we could be friends, and we could do this every weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, like it was really cool. So with that event, there was a lot of people who were really generous, including yourself and myself, to be able to sponsor players and pay their way into the tournament. So I sponsored Huge Beetle and Huge Beetle and Blylad. And mind you, like I've commentated Blylad's matches through Wednesday night fights, and same with Huge Beetle because she competes over at Royal Rivals. So I was already excited to see the tire in action. Like I was already super stoked, and so it's like it was really fun for me to kind of watch and root for them both in the bracket. And then your guy took out Huge Beetle, but my guy took out one of your guys.
He
And
took
I
out the
was
same
like,
guy who took out your guy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So which I think is fair. You know, it's avenging.
And just
your-
on the
your-
record, Spooky's not who I sponsored. Spooky entered of his own volition, but we're
Yes.
homies. I sponsored a Guile player named Clark Kent on Twitch and Christ in Me. So I'd imagine he's religious, and you know what? Awesome. I love the Christ, man. But and he's literally like there have been lounge days where Christ in Me has, I think the most wins he's gotten in one of our lounges is like 30 in a full
Oh
lounge.
jeez.
Like he literally is just like spanking us. And if you get one game on him, he's like one of those dudes like, oh, I'll hit you. You hit him once, he'll hit you back 100 times.
Yeah, yeah. The comeback factor is real with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Blarlad though, like and again, shout outs to him. He's a fantastic competitor, makes top eights all the time Wednesday night fights in any tournament really that he comes across and competes in. Fantastic Abigail. And I'm a big fan of Abigail shenanigans. I love to see like silly stuff happen on screen. So when that tire comes out, I'm like ready to go.
And it's so whimsical. It's such a like a juxtaposition to like seeing Abigail and playing against Abigail, because when you're playing against Abigail, you're like, well, how am I gonna die now, right? But
Yeah,
then you see
exactly.
the tire. If you're commentating it, you're like, oh, some dumb shit's about to happen. Is gonna be great.
Yeah.
When you're playing against it, you're like, god damn it, some dumb shit's about to happen, and it's not gonna be great.
It's not gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'm not having a good time. Mom, can you pick me up?
You're like, your cell phone died. You gotta go to the payphone. You're like, what do I do with this?
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, but yeah, the commentary was fun. That event was really fun. Mom the meatloaf, freaking Garrett. What I do wanna ask about is, you did say you're content creator, commentator, and TO. It's called Royal Rivals now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about it. Tell me about what why that idea, not why, how that idea came about.
Yeah,
Why is he
yeah.
asking why? I'm like, because I'm out of words. It's Friday. I haven't had a beer yet. How did that idea come about? Like, what does it mean to you to run an event or run a tournament such as that? And when's the next one? Where's the plug?
All right, I got you. So yeah, I am a tournament organizer. It's not the first tournament I've ran by any means. I've done a couple with my local scene too, but for me, so I actually came. There was a tournament prior called Queens of Quarantine, but the owner of that series made some poor decisions, and so the entire team basically picked everything up and take everything and move it over there. The Patrick reference, but. We still felt passionate about giving something back to the community, especially women in the community. Like, that's a big factor for me, is like I came into this community and I remember seeing Jackie O commentate my first ever Capcom Cup, watching that, and that was so impactful for me. I remember going to DreamHack 2018 and seeing UIU's Yu the Tekken player up on top 8 on the stage, and that was impactful for me because before I entered the FGC, I had never really seen women at that caliber like competing and just doing these things that I thought was so fantastic. So with all that said, I strongly also believe that the FGC has given so much to me, and I need to give back in some way. And part of that is helping the women in our scene and giving them a place to feel comfortable to compete and be in a place where they can get to know other women as well. Because it's not just about competing. I mean, that's a part of it, but it's also about networking with other individuals and making those connections and stuff like that. And that to me is important. And also highlighting some of the undiscovered talent in our community too.
Yeah, like Huge Beetle. I'm gonna. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, please.
But that match had me clenching my asshole, cause I was like, oh, how poetic is this? Like, I'm helping you with this production stuff when I want to be like a mean girl and Lindsay Lohan a little bit. I was like, man, I wanted to commentate on this event, but I wanted to play too. Now I DQ myself and I gotta help. Man, the fuck. And then, it was like a little bit in my heart. I was like, yes, yes, my homie won. But no, she played insane. I was like, that shit was this and this. At the very end, it was like this much life on each side. I was like, fuck, someone's gonna fuck up tonight. Someone's gonna die. Someone's gonna die.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the beauty of it. We got to see such a fantastic match that was just neck and neck, really, really close, and a lot of really fun plays. And that's the kind of stuff I like to highlight. So running this tournament series, my co-owner of it was Yuki. She asked me to step in and be a co-owner of the tournament. And again, for me, like, it was important to give this space to women in the community and non-binary individuals in the community, a place to play and a place to compete and a place to interact and like connect with other individuals. I believe our next tournament is going to be at the end of May, if not the beginning of June. Okay. I had to think about what month comes after May. So it's a little bit of a tentative date right now. We just finished up our previous tournament at the end of April. And there's just a bunch of stuff kind of going on in like after another, so just still working some stuff out. But yeah, you guys can go check out Royal Rivals, though. You can go follow them on Twitter. We are partnered with Grinding Coffee, fantastic coffee company. You can check them out, and you can also go check out Collector Cup, another partner of Royal Rivals. Much love to both of them. But yeah, go follow Royal Rivals if you're able to. It is a all women and non-binary ran and tournament. So all the members of the team are non-binary or women, minus Joe, who runs the online local. He gives us the space to be able to stream it, so he helps us out in that way. But yeah, besides that, everybody else on the team, it's really, really cool. So
yeah, honestly, I think it's a beautiful thing. My wife plays here and there. We like whenever we run first to anything, it gets really dramatic, and I feel like the more you see, like, I don't know, it's not like what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, like, when you see more, I like if I go to an event, I'm a married man. I'm not there to like women hunt or any of that bullshit. But like, I just don't want to be in a room full of like dudes and like a rightful sausage fest. It's just not fun. You know, especially like
Yeah.
you go to Evo, like like Hori, we for a moment had Marine, UYU's Marine on as a brand ambassador. She's fucking balls, man.
Oh yeah,
She's
she's
fucking
fantastic.
balls. Like, who else is there? Miria, Phantom Miria. Like
Yeah.
that's one of your people. You know, it was nice to
Yeah.
see her. You know, there's it sucks that I don't have them all in my head. But
Oh, I can name them like.
exactly. So what I'm trying to say is, I love that you're trying to change the perception, and we're taking away kind of like the gender constraints from that gaming side of things. It's always like, oh, boys play games. You know, like the popular girls. Where I was like, oh, that's so stupid. Boys play games, and dudes are like, wait, why are you playing games? Like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
that or
saying?
they're like heavy breathing in the mic, and they're like, "Are you a girl?"
Yeah.
and they're just like,
It's like the
Like-
two extremes. It's like the two
Yeah.
extremes. When in reality, when you go to a local or you go to a tournament, it's just people like me and you. We're just like, hey, what up?
yeah, exactly. And I want to give a quick shout out to my AZ fan because like I love the AZ boys. They have always taken good care of me. Like I remember going to Evo and competing at Evo for the first time, and all of them were like behind me, cheering me on. It was like the like. How do I word this? It was the proudest moment to win that match because I was like I felt like I was the weakest player of my scene at the time, and so to win that, like I felt like I had something to prove, and I proved it. But also the fact that like I was able to make all the AZ boys proud. So shout out to all of them. I have a lot of love to them. They are fantastic. They're a fantastic scene, very, very supportive. So they've always been supportive of me.
Speaking of the Arizona scene, so I'm guessing, is it the gaming zone? That's where the local
Yes.
used to be, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to AZ Collins, man. He when I went out to Arizona
he's
for
the
the first
goat.
time, I took my
He's the
wife.
goat.
I'll tell you a funny story. I'll tell you the fucking story. I don't care. I went there. It was like we were there for like Christmas break, right? I think it was like 2018 or something like that. I'll have to check my Facebook or Twitter, boomer. But I went to the gaming zone and I met up with AZ. I DM'd him. Met John Toy, like really good Karen player.
Oh yeah,
you know,
he's actually
and-
fantastic at Buki too.
Yeah, and just it was a really nice scene. You know, everyone says, oh, West Coast privilege, SoCal privilege, and I'm like, no, not really, because I was getting bodied over there too. Like I did some bodying myself, which felt nice, you know, but I got bodied pretty much. It was like about 70-30, so 70% of getting bodied and 30% of doing the body.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, there's a guy over in our scene. His name is Rambro. He's made Wednesday Night Fight top 8s a couple times now, and it's same with another guy. He goes by Moss. He's a Cammy player. Also made top 8 for Wednesday Night Fight. So like we've got some like killers in our scene.
I say
They
Rambro
just
was in
kinda-
top 8.
Yeah.
Rambro was in top 8 for CPT, right? Or was it top 16? It was top 16.
Rambro was in top 16. So, and I think we had another guy too, Akita. He's a fantastic competitor too, great Dawson player. So like we have heavy hitters. They just kind of fly under the radar, just because there's not a whole lot going on right now. So, unless you're in the online space.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, so Royal Rivals is the tournament you run, you're commentating, you're all this other stuff. The world is closed right now, but you know, when the world opens back up and there's more majors and stuff like that, do you have like a hit list of places that you would like to go to?
Oh, like it is a mile long. Obviously, like
Name 3.
The end goal is
just name,
okay. 3.
like if you had to pick 3, like knife to your throat, gun to your head, like you pick 3 majors or else. What are those 3?
Okay.
What for the grand reopening of the planet Earth?
The planet Earth.
Right.
So I would say obviously Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker is always going to top my list. That was one of my favorite tournaments I ever got to experience. CEO is one of them because I've never been, and I just want to like feel that presence of being in that room when somebody walks up on stage into the ring. Like there's something so cool about it. So CEO is second, and this one's a little bit out of left field, but I want to go to Seam. That's a big one. Southeast
Asia major.
Yeah, Southeast Asian major. Shout outs to my girl Peach on her, and I've been talking about it. And actually, quarantine getting as bad as it was, we were planning on going to scene together as like a fun little trip, but unfortunately everything happened, so we couldn't. But that's on my list as well, because I just want to be able to experience the scene in a totally different country, and you know that I've only allowed 3, so we'll keep it at that.
Yeah, because I have to tell myself the same thing, because like when I'm like, okay, babe, so we're gonna go, she's like, choose like 2 or 3, because like money is not infinite. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. There's that whole thing, and my vacation days aren't infinite either.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I think for me, Sen Cal standoff, if it happens, I know it's not a major, it's like what they would call a ranking event, but before the world closed, me and like a lot of the boys were gonna rent an Airbnb with a pool, and I was just gonna call it a party weekend. And I'm like, if I go into Who Gives a Shit, I rented an Airbnb, you know, mattress on the floor, whatever else. Evo, I'm not gonna say, because it doesn't count because I have to go for work. Yeah. Because we usually have like a booth there and stuff like that. But CEO is definitely one of them, for the chance of being able to come out to music in the top 8 and, you know, all that jazz. I actually had a whole scenario in my head about how I would come out to.
Oh yeah, everybody does.
Like that, you know?
Everybody does.
Because the closest thing I've gotten to that is like doing a walkout with my cousin in his MMA fight. I wasn't fighting. I was in his corner. But still, you're like in the background, the camera's following you, and you're trying to look hard, but then at the end of the day, you're like, oh man, yeah, you're like,
you're like feeling yourself, but you also look slightly constipated.
You're like, and then
you're like trying to be tough.
And then you realize, like, I remember his head coach just like smacked me in the shoulder, like, stop smiling. Oh my god. There's a camera in my face. Like, I know it's about him, but like. It's like, you know, where, like, here's his body, and you're just like...
Yeah, you're like...
yeah, I'm in here, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've always, like, fantasized about what kind of song I'd have if I ever placed in top 8 for, like, CEO, because I'm just like, there's it's a roster, and I'm like, I want to feel cool. I want to feel, like, badass and stuff like that, but it's just, like, at the same time, I'm like, none of these songs are cool that I listen to.
I'll say it out loud because I don't give a fuck, because I'm comfortable with who I am. I was thinking RuPaul's You Better Work, because I play Vega, and he's like a beautiful man, and you know.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
You know, and like I was like, how many drag queens can I hire to like walk me out to that?
Like, yes. Oh my gosh. I would pay money to see that.
Yeah, I would pay money to rig a whole tournament so I can get into top 8 and fucking lose just for that moment. You know, just
or just like pay money to be like the after entertainment of the tournament. Like after everybody wins, you know,
exhibition.
Goes
There's the word, exhibition match.
Yeah, there you go. You're the exhibition match. You come out with all your drag queen army, which I'm also a big fan of drag queens, so I'm gonna be there.
Drag shows are fun.
Oh yeah.
Drag shows are so much fun. So much freaking fun, you know? But speaking of locals, not locals, majors and stuff like that, what I want to ask is, because, you know, like I said, I'm never on the prowl anymore, but, you know, we're on, you know, Royal Rivals. We're trying to make a better space for, you know, women gamers and non-binary people of non-binary. I'm still new to this term. Sorry. Excuse my ignorance, but,
you know,
just
non-binary gamers.
Yeah, non-binary gamers and stuff like that. So I want to ask you, I mean, I know you got a boyfriend now, but I'm sure at some point you were single before doing your stuff. What are, like, 3 do's of, like, how do I talk to a girl at a major, and 3 don'ts? I think this is a great lesson. I think this is a great learning lesson. You know, I found my wife in the civilian world, and she's like, oh, wait. And it's funny because she's a nurse. She's an ER nurse. And one of her doctors was like, oh, my God, your husband works for Hori? And then, like, he showed her, like, his fucking stick collection. And I was like, what the fuck? Doc? Hell yeah. You're like a pro, and you make your money, and you do your shit. And then her other nurse friend's like, oh, I wanted to do that. Like, how does he do it? I'm like, by being a dickhead on the internet. That's literally how I did it. I don't know if that's everyone's formula, but that's my formula. I didn't send him a stick. He's got money. He can spend money on a stick, Garrett.
Yeah.
But sorry, I went on a little bit of a tangent right there. So 3, I don't want to say like little do's. I want like hard do's and hard don'ts. Like deal breakers that outside of common sense, like be cleanly and take a shower, unless
Yeah.
you're.
Okay.
There's a joke there,
Because
but
that was
I'm not
gonna be
gonna
my
make
first one
it.
was like take a shower.
There's a
But
joke
okay,
there,
outside
but
of
I'm not.
common sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
take a shower is universal. Let's take a shower. Don't smell like shit out of the equation. So
Right.
like, what would those three? Let's start with the. Don'ts are going to be probably funnier, so let's do's. Let's start with some do's.
Okay.
Let's start positive and terrible.
All right. So like, let's put a hypothetical situation. I'm Flexiss. I'm sitting and I'm playing like sets, just casuals and stuff like that. It's post tournament or whatever. And in this hypothetical situation, I'm single. So for me, if somebody wanted to, like, try to pick up a girl at a tournament or something like that, the first one, never interrupt them in the middle of a set. And this one kind of goes hand in hand, but also don't give them unsolicited advice. I mean, that's like the universal rule across the board, but just don't, because like unless they ask you for help, like just don't. So that's
or you're in a setting where it's like everyone's trying to learn from each other,
yeah,
and we're all
exactly.
it's not like, as long as it's like communal and mutual, not just you need to and do this.
Yeah, but even then,
that,
like, I've been in like suites and stuff like that where we're all playing games and hanging out and stuff like that, and it is always my pet peeve when somebody's like, "Oh yeah, it's more optimal to do this, this, and that." I'm like, dude, let me play my fucking game and enjoy my
Shut
drink.
the fuck
like,
up. That's
I'm
how I
just
feel
having
too.
fun. Yeah.
As a dude, I'm like,
I'm
shut your fucking mouth, bro.
exactly. So that's a big thing. Don't give unsolicited advice, especially not like in the middle of a game or while like don't interrupt in the middle of a game. But that kind of goes like, that's common sense.
But this is FGC specific, so it is very FGC specific.
Yeah. I think the next one is I'm trying to think. I think it's better to like, when you're talking to like a girl because the biggest issue that I face in the event and we're talking about don'ts, right? Or are we talking about do's?
We started with don'ts, so it's all good. Let's just go there.
Okay,
Let's end positive instead.
So, okay. Yeah, I think that's better. Because that one was like burning in my skull. So
no,
I
it's
had to
cool.
get it out.
Yeah, awesome.
So, as far as like the other ones, the biggest one too for me is like when you're competing and stuff like that, or you're at a tournament and an event, like for some women it can be very scary space because it is so male dominated, and you hear all these horror stories. So it's like you have to make sure you're being approachable and you have to make sure you're being friendly, but not like coming off too strong, because I've had guys do that too, where they're constantly asking for like my number or my social media or whatever, and I'm like getting uncomfortable because it feels like they're like trying to invade in my privacy. So just be like, hey, I really like your and this is the do, I guess. Compliment their fighting game, like that, how they play, but and make a genuine compliment. Be like, hey, I really like your defensive options when you play Chun-Li. Do you want to run a set? And I'll be like, yeah. And that's gonna start engage that like communication in that process, and at the very least that's gonna establish like a nice, friendly, genuine like relationship between two players. Now flip side, the other don't. I gotta think on this one, because it's like, again, this might be obvious, but if somebody says no, or somebody says I'm busy, or somebody says I'm uncomfortable, or somebody says like, I don't know, if pick up on the subtle hints that somebody's
read the room.
If they're like,
read the room, boys. Read the fucking room.
But like, people don't understand that and they don't realize it, and it's like, I've been in situations again like that where I'm like getting very uncomfortable. Like there was an incident with a guy at Combo Breaker because he didn't understand, like, I was uncomfortable when he would keep like trying to talk to me or trying to like compliment me or this and that, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, dude. I just want to play my games and hang out with my friends. Now I think there's two more do's to cover. So the first do is try to keep the conversation light and engaging as far as like fighting games, like centered around fighting games. Talk about, oh, you play Chun-Li? I love Chun-Li. Like, what's your favorite costume of hers? What's your favorite move? How long have you been playing her? Talking about stuff like that, I think, is a really great way to start and engage in a conversation. I think the second one is, I'm trying to think of like proper do's, because I'm trying to think of like what I would like if somebody did. we talked about that. I would say, like, if you are interested in that person, offer to, I don't know, maybe meet up and go get lunch together, or like go eat dinner together, or like do something together, or like maybe be like, hey, like, do you want to go play some more sets later? Like, offer to continue if you like the way that the conversation's going, and you can understand or see like, hey, yeah, I like the like, or you can read the room and see that she's interested. Um, Continue that progression in like. I say MTX, nobody can refuse K barbecue, and I agree. I think K barbecue is a universal food of the FGC. Everybody loves it,
I love
and like
Korean
just see if
barbecue.
maybe you. Oh yeah, yeah. I think just like try to kind of continue the conversation in a way of like keep it very light, but maybe ask them if they want to go get a drink together if they're of age, of course, or ask them if they want to go get some food, go get some snacks, something like that.
I think the best thing, and this is for men as much as for women, like especially in a space like that, like you're a girl, maybe it's your first time there, or you're a woman, excuse me, sorry, you're a woman, it's your first time there, and if you're not feeling comfortable, like I think your best, me as a man, given the advice, your best option is if she's there with friends that are dudes and you're there with friends that are dudes, hey, let's all go to somewhere.
I was just about to say.
And get some shit to eat, you know? Because
Yeah.
if you, like, you're at Evo, you just met, shit happens in Vegas. If you guys hook up, then it is what it is. But if what you're looking for is, like, not that, but, you know, more like the, being a friend and, like, having someone, like, a confidant and being able to have someone that you genuinely enjoy something with, the first move probably isn't like, hey, let's go get a drink, or hey, do you want to go play sets in my hotel room, just me and you, or whatever else.
That comes
and
off
I know
as
that's
creepy.
I know that's not what you were saying, but
right.
what I'm
you
saying,
picked
just
up on
so
what I was trying to get at.
yeah, I picked up what you were trying to put down. I got you, man. There's a reason why this is here. There's a reason why I'm John Cena for 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, dude, it's man, I got an older sister, and I don't have horror stories because she's in the military and she'll just shoot you if, you know, you fuck around the wrong way.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Reese. Love you, sis. But, you know, all things considered, I think it's just really about understanding why the things that you do may or may not be the right move. It's like playing Final Fantasy in real life.
Yeah. No, I mean, but that's 100% the case. And again, I love the fact that you pointed out, and I was kind of alluding to it, so thank you for picking up on that. But when you know, like, women, it is a scary space to be in, and it's going to be for a long time, unfortunately. And it has been for me before. And, like, to be like, hey, how about you and your friends and me and my friends, we all go together and we go out and get some K barbecue or go do this or that, and like that creates a safe space for you two to still hang out and kind of get that little bit more like one-on-one time, but still create it as a safe space where her friends are there and she can lean on them in case things get weirder, and vice versa, you know. If you're uncomfortable and she seems like kind of funky, like you can lean on your friends, and that's like your kind of escape plan, for lack of better words. So yeah, I think that's the big one. And again, the overarching answer to all this is understanding like the space that a woman is in this like in the FGC, and recognizing that and understanding the difficulties. And when you have that grasp, I think that helps your approach if you do want to date somebody in the FGC, whether that's meeting them at a tournament or talking online or anything like that. So yeah,
that's great. That's great advice. And then, you know, the biggest thing that we are all gonna agree on, I'm gonna say I don't give a shit. The stereotypical joke is like, oh, Smash players. I don't care. I don't say you can be mad at me, but you know, they're like, take a shower, guys.
That's true. It's true. Like the amount of dudes that are at a tournament and they're just like kind of stinky, or like there's something funky about them, and you can tell.
Yeah,
you can tell.
And that's not everyone, but there are some people who just chose the path of stank and funk.
Yeah, the dankest path in life, and they chose it.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun for the people around you, y'all. And this ain't just for the FGC. This for life. Take a fucking shower.
Oh yeah.
Do it.
Oh man.
Take a bath and bleach if you need to. Shit. Don't do that. Don't actually do that.
No.
That's a joke. Like, in like a bubble bath is better. I said bleach. I'm such an asshole.
Yeah, take a normal
shower
with your dial soap.
with a dial soap,
Like,
or
yeah.
I use Dove.
Yeah, or Dove.
Dove.
Dove is a good option.
Now I am using something from Bath and Body Works that my wife buys me. She's like, I like you to smell like this. Use it. I'm like, psh, all right.
All right. Take it easy.
So a couple of I guess last. I don't want to say last, but like a couple more things I want to touch on. You know, so we talked about the whole dating thing. There is one thing, just from one streamer to another, one streamer with a strong community to another. At first, like, I've been running a couple of different tag team tournaments. I actually have a tournament that I'm going to start in June, aptly named the Kagiwara Cup, because I play Vega, and life is all about me, right? But I'm not playing in it. It's all about the players in that case, but the name is me. You know, since we are 1-1, me and you are 1-1, we got to find a trilogy some way. I think you should bring 4. I'll bring 4. Actually, no. How many fit in a lobby? 8?
Yeah, 8.
You should bring 3. You bring 3. I'll bring 3. And we'll see. We'll figure out a rule set of some sort. And we're going to have to just squash this made up beef that I just made up right now. Because for the content, guys. For the content. I have no animosity towards Flexiss. No. We just fucking met like 2 weeks ago. But I have some guys that are
so you're going
some
down.
Guys and gals that are ready to eat a human.
Yeah,
to eat a human body.
Down.
Okay.
You're going down.
Okay.
They're going to start.
And no matter what,
going down,
no matter what the other 3 do, me and you have to play that like last determining set.
You're gonna win.
Where'd that confidence go? Where's the confidence at?
Like, I have confidence in the people that I can bring together, but my own gameplay, like, I never play ranked. I only ever play like in either casuals or what is it? In
Battle
lobbies.
lounges.
I always host lobbies on my stream. Yeah. So like I never play ranked.
We're in the same situation. We're literally in the same situation, because I'll be honest, I'm gonna air out my dirty laundry in the world. I earned gold on my PS4. I earned the gold on my PS4. When I built this, my friend MTXWRL, shoutouts, and his roommate Kyle, when I built this PC, I just told him to get me to gold and some insurance. So I didn't earn it twice. I only earned it once. So for those of you like, oh, he's a cheater. I'm like, no, I got it once. I don't want to have to do it again, because I don't have the time. I have the time. I just don't want to dedicate the time to play ranked. I'd rather play with the homies and talk shit on a mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you're in the same feeling, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm sure some people like, oh, whatever your rank is, like, you know. I'm a huge cheat. I don't care. Call me a cheat. It's all good. I earned gold once.
I was gonna say, like, I didn't even give it that much attention and love, like, ranked. I got myself the bronze, and I was like, all right, I got a name on there. I'm past rookie. I don't care. Like, and that's the thing for me, is I'll never enjoy playing ranked, and I just don't think it's like a good qualifier of like somebody's level of skill. Like, it definitely is to some degree, but for me, I'm just like, I don't have fun doing this. Why would I spend so much time doing something that I don't have fun with? Like, it didn't make sense to me. So I was just like, yeah, screw ranked. I got to a point and I was like, all right, I'm done.
For sure. And then there is, just like I said, there's a couple more things. There's some other stuff I want to talk to you off stream, so I'll leave that stuff for after this. But usually at the end of this experience, at the end of the Battle History podcast, what we like to do is play some sort of games. You know, so because you are such a JoJo fan, right? You are such a huge JoJo fan. What I would like to do is we're going to play Spring Fling, For Life, or Vote Off the Island, which I can imagine it's you all know the game. Don't type it, because we're trying to keep it sponsor friendly. Yeah. Okay, so Spring Fling, what was it? For Life. Right? Mary, that's the easy one.
Yeah.
And Vote Off the Island in the game Survivor. Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to start with some protagonists here. Okay? I'm not going to choose hold on 1 second. Higashikata Josuke, because I know you love him. That's easy.
Oh,
That would be the easy thing for me to do. I know. I know.
Easy, Mary.
I done did
okay,
the research.
Okay.
I know you love Crazy Diamond, but we ain't gonna make it easy for you because that's what the Battle History podcast is all about. It's called Battle History, right? So like I said, the game, the three, which you know what it is in your head. So Jotaro, right? Jotaro, Giorno Giovanna, or young Jonathan.
Young Jonathan?
Before he had purple Hermit Purple.
Oh, you mean Joseph?
Joseph Jonathan is, yep. I just watched it for the first time. Yeah. There's too many Joes for me to remember. I know. Oh, Taj is gonna kill me now. He's like, "You're no Jehovah's Witness." Yeah, I'm still new. I binged it in 2 weeks. I literally crammed all of the parts in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to Taj, by the way. He's actually the guy who got me into JoJo's.
Yeah, same here. So we're both converts of his.
Yeah, the Church of Taj and JoJo's. Or no, it's the Church of JoJo's, and Taj is like the minister, the priest.
Exactly.
But
so Spring Fling, For Life, or Vote Off the Island. Jotaro, Giorno, and Joseph.
Yeah. So
non-stand using Joseph.
So because I know the history and lore about Joseph and his love life history, I would only do a spring fling with Joseph.
Makes sense.
Normally because I'm like, I want a man that's faithful to me, that'll love me and cherish me and take care of me. And Joseph is like fun, but we saw what he did to Susie Q, so like I don't want to end up like Susie. So he's spring fling for Joseph. Now, this is a hard one because Jotaro was actually my least favorite of the Joes.
Get out. Yeah. He's my favorite.
So this is actually a hard one though, because at the same time we all know season 5 was Giorno. That was technically the real main character was Bruno. It wasn't Giorno.
No, I know.
Giorno just happened to be the catalyst to it. But I would probably say, I feel like Jotaro though, like with the women that he holds close to him, he would take care of them as he got older. So I would say Jotaro I would marry and Giorno I would kick off. But it's very, very close.
By a slim margin?
Very close. Yeah, very slim margin.
I think the reason why I liked Jotaro the most is because that one scene when he fought Kakyoin, he's like, sometimes I don't pay for dinner, and other times I'm like gambling and smoking cigarettes, but I know when something's bad. I'm like, oh, that's how I live life. You know, sometimes you make bad decisions. It doesn't make you a bad person. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, my favorite Jotaro moment was when he was playing poker. And he's like, didn't look at his cards, freaked the other dude out. He's like, I don't know how to play this game. I've never played poker in my life. And there's something so, like, charming about the fact that he just didn't know and he was betting on it. I thought it was just so funny. It tickled me.
Yeah, he's like the quintessential Japanese, like, he's like, you know how in, like, the States, like, there's like a man's man, right? In the States, and there's like certain traits that they have, you know, whether it's like gunslinging, country music, like drinking whiskey. He is like the Japanese version of that.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, just like doesn't give a shit, smokes cigarettes, just, you know, yells at people when it's annoying. I'll just say people. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Know? And, you know, and the fact that he doesn't say, like, damare, he says yakamashi, that's, like, the most formal way you could tell someone to shut the fuck up in Japanese. So just for context, yakamashi, like, if your Japanese teacher says yakamashi, it's just basically he or she is telling you to shut the fuck up without having to say, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So I think that would be the breakdown. But again, close margin between Giorno and Jotaro.
All right, so same rules. So Spring Fling, For Life, or Vote Off the Island, but we're going to do the anti-heroes now. We're going to do the anti-heroes. Okay. All right. So, Yoshikage Killer, the anime, Kira, rather. Excuse me.
Kira.
Said it in English. Oh, well. So someone's going to be very angry about that. Yoshikage Kira, right? Who was it? Wamu.
Oh, shit.
Wamu, right? And although technically he's not a villain, he was kind of villainous. Like in the realm of history, he would be a villain because he's a Nazi. General Stroheim.
Oh, okay.
Because he's kind of in the middle. He's like he was a good guy, but he was also like a part of the German army in World War II, so that makes him an asshole.
Yeah,
IRL asshole.
Guile was based off of him. So,
him and Polnareff, I think.
Yeah, yeah. But I actually loved, like, take the Nazi aspect out of his, like,
But he's
character.
a good guy, yeah.
I loved him as a character. I thought he was just so quirky and crazy and hysterical. And just the fact he kept coming back, you could not fucking kill this dude.
You couldn't kill this man.
He was the cockroach of the series. You could not kill him to save your life. And I loved it.
Well, he was like a Panzer tank, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Double entendre. But yeah, those are the three, because it's my game, and I made up the rules. The chat's like, he's not a protagonist, he's not an antagonist. I'm like, yeah, but he's a Nazi, he's bad.
Yeah. I would say the fling would be Stronheim.
Okay.
So, and then I would marry Wamu. I would marry him. And then Wamu was the... I'm looking at a picture of him to figure out which one he was.
He did this pose. He was the first of the Pillar Men to wake up.
Okay, yeah. So
Wamu.
I would say Wamu would be the one I would marry. And then I would kick Kira off only because I don't want to be just a hand. I'd like to keep my entire body. So I thought he was such an interesting character in the series. Like, he's such a good, like, that's the beauty again of JoJo's, and I could talk for hours about this, but the bad guys in the series, the villains per se, were always so interesting and had like such weird depth to them, but at the same time they were so simple. I mean, like, look at Dio. He's just an asshole. Literally just an asshole. And he's like such an iconic like villain.
Yeah, I think my favorite scene with Dio, Rodorora, like he's just like shoving a fucking road roller on you.
Yeah.
And he's literally saying road roller, like, or what, I don't know, like asphalt machine, whatever it's called here in English, you know. But yeah, Kira's a dick. I didn't like him. What made me hate him was when he killed the little kid, and I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. You motherfucker.
Yeah, no, he's like, you take Dio and you like can't even imagine, but you somehow make Dio even worse as a human being, and that is like Kira. And like, of course, you know, one man band like makes it even significantly terrible. So yeah, he is such an interesting character that encompasses this whole idea of like a serial killer, but at the same time, like, total dick. Total asshole.
Yeah, with a weird and I'm kink shaming him with a weird fetish, like your hand.
Oh yeah, the dead lady's hand.
Yeah, like was it necrophilia meets like hand fetish? I'm
Yeah,
not digging
much.
it. I'm not digging it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. 0 out of 10. Would not recommend. No stars on Yelp.
Okay, for sure. But you know, I think this was a really great time. It was really fun picking your brain about commentary and finding out about Royal Rivals, and you know, when the next date is gonna be. And you know, for all you ladies and non-binary people that are up in the chat, check her shit out, man. Go play. You know, the last thing, like, for me, I don't give a shit if you're a rookie player or a warlord. We still bleed the same blood, and I'm either gonna try and kill your character on this screen, or you're gonna try and kill my character on this screen, and that's all a tournament is. So don't let the nerves get to you. Just have fun. Just have fun and play. That's what it's all about. Now, if you spent money and you go to a major, you travel, got a hotel room, different story. That's a gamble on that point. But online tournament, you get to sit at home and just, you know, smoke weed or like vape, do whatever, you know, have a beer. It's all good.
Yeah.
You know, but tell the people where they can find you. Tell the people where your partners are at and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, so again, I am Flexiss. I am a content creator, competitor, and commentator for Street Fighter V. I'm sponsored with Equinox. I also run the Royal Rivals Tournament series. You can go check that out, especially if you're a woman or non-binary competitor. Please be sure to check it out because we will be hosting a tournament very soon. If you guys want to check out the things that I have to say, you can follow me on Twitter at Flexiss_. I do stream every Tuesday/Thursday, so you can check me out there at Flexiss__ on Twitch. I also have an Instagram, FlexissFGC. I just post selfies and random stuff that I think is funny. I have a TikTok, but I don't really do a whole lot on it. I usually just scroll through it, so I mean, you can follow it, but you don't have to. And I also have a YouTube channel. I've got the whole plethora of everything. So you can follow me at Flexiss. I think it's FlexissFGC or Flexiss on YouTube. I actually did a podcast series that I'm looking to reboot as well. So maybe we'll see Mr. Kagi himself a guest on there soon. I had Commander Jesse on there before. It was a good time. So
yeah, Commander Jesse is the homie. That's actually he's the reason why I do this. Literally, he's the one who gave me the chance on the mic. He's the one who kind of like got me into this. Started on a humble PS4, and now I'm on this beautiful machine right here. You know, so yeah, MTX is always in Jesse's stream. He's always in my stream. He actually lives like a mile up the street from me.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, so we're neighbors. We get to play local sets whenever we want. I'm not saying that out loud in this chat. No, sir, not happening. Not telling what I owe. I owe like my firstborn because there's like a really good graphics card in there right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, it's come to the end, and now I gotta look for someone to what's that thing called? Raid. And you know what? Before it turned into Royal Rivals, this is one female player that I love, and I'm jealous of her because she's got a baby and she's married, and I'm like, God damn it, I want to be there in life. We're gonna raid Chobokins because she's a great Honda player, and I play Honda as well. So yeah, I am going. Yeah. With that being said, Flexiss, thank you so much. Thanks so much for opportunity being here. I shot my shot with regards to getting you here. People. And you know, I'm really glad we were able to have that perspective and really talk with you. And yeah, we're gonna have to set up this tiebreaker. We're gonna have to set 100%. Up this tiebreaker, so you guys look out 100%. For that. We'll probably I don't know, we'll figure something out. It's gonna be fun. One of us is gonna go down, and one of us is going to have to. It's gonna be. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I just feel like if we're gonna do this, we should think of like some sort of like. Oh, I'm not gonna say it out loud. Fuck. I'm thinking out loud. But I will see you guys later. We're gonna go ahead and raid. Let me make sure I spell it right because I have a problem spelling. Okay.
Chobokins.
Okay, there it went. So we'll raid in 4 seconds. We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.